And here is the Writer's Almanac for Tuesday, the 10th of September, 2019. It's the birthday of the biologist and science historian Stephen Jay Gould, born in Queens, New York, 1941, known for his essays on natural history and for explaining complicated scientific theories in a way that most people can understand them, in books such as The Flamingo's Smile, Bully for Brontosaurus. It's the birthday of poet Mary Oliver, born Maple Heights, Ohio, 1935. Wanted to be a writer from the time she was young, though she knew that writers didn't make very much money. So she sat down as a girl and made a list of things that she'd never be able to have, such as a nice car and fancy clothes and eating out at expensive restaurants. Mary Oliver dropped out of college to make a pilgrimage to visit Edna St. Vincent Millay's estate in Austerlitz, New York, where, though the poet had been dead for several years, her sister Norma lived there, along with her husband. And Mary Oliver moved in and lived there for years, helping out on the estate and keeping Norma company and working on her own writing. In 1958, a woman named Molly Malone Cook came to visit Norma while Oliver was there, and the two of them fell in love, and a few years later they moved together to Provincetown, Massachusetts. Mary Oliver said, "I was very careful never to take an interesting job. I took lots of jobs, but if you have an interesting job, you get interested in it. I also began in those years to keep early hours. If anybody has a job and starts at 9, there's no reason why they can't get up at 4:30 or 5 and write for a couple of hours." And it's the birthday of the novelist Hannah Webster Foster, born Salisbury, Massachusetts in 1758, author of an epistolary novel called The Coquette, or The History of Eliza Wharton, came out in 1797. It was a huge success, one of the best-selling novels of 18th century America, and it was based heavily on the true story of Elizabeth Whitman, a beautiful minister's daughter from a well-known family who became pregnant out of wedlock and died after giving birth to a stillborn child at a roadside tavern. The man who supposedly impregnated her was Pierpont Edwards, the son of the famous preacher and theologian Jonathan Edwards, who started the Great Awakening movement, delivered the famous sermon, "Sinners in the Hands of an Angry God." It was a great piece of gossip all across New England, and Hannah Webster Foster capitalized on the gossip by turning it into a novel. Here's a poem by Robert Hirsch, The Public Hug. We're leaving the restaurant, and here is an old friend home from Spain. We embrace. My luncheon companions, co-workers with the surnames of Elizabethan poets, stand aside. Later, there are jokes about men who hug men in public. Listen, I hug men, I hug women, children, cats, dogs, drunks, and uncles. I know the texture of people's hair, how much weight their shoulders can support. I'm a patter and a toucher and a kisser. Once I playfully punched a friend in the arm. He turned unexpectedly, and I smashed his glasses. Those are the chances you take. We worked together for 4 years, maybe bumped in a doorway once, scattering dust from those fragile wings. Now I'm gone, and you'll never know whether my hands are hot or cold. So I'll tell you, hot and getting hotter. A poem, The Public Hug, by Robert Hirsch, from an anthology of poems published by Louisiana State University Press, The Yellow Shoe Poets, and used by permission here on the Writer's Almanac. Be well, do good work, and keep in touch.